The Bible in a Year, Day 12. Genesis chapter 12 through 16. The Lord said to Abram, "Go forth from your land, your relatives, and from your father's house, to a land that I will show you. I will make you a great nation, and I will bless you. I will make your name great, so that you will be a blessing. I will bless those who bless you, and curse those who curse you, and all the families of the earth will find blessing in you." Abram went as the Lord directed him, and Lot went with him. Abram was 75 years old when he left Haran. Abram took his wife Sarai, his brother's son Lot, all the possessions that he had accumulated, and the persons they had acquired in Haran, and they set out for the land of Canaan. When they came to the land of Canaan, Abram passed through the land as far as the sacred place at Shechem by the oak of Moreh. The Canaanites were then in the land. The Lord appeared to Abram and said, "To your descendants I will give this land." So Abram built an altar there to the Lord who had appeared to him. From there he moved on the hill country east of Bethel, pitching his tent with Bethel to the west and Ai to the east. He built an altar there to the Lord and invoked the Lord by name. Then Abram journeyed on by stages to the Negeb. There was famine in the land, so Abram went down to Egypt to sojourn there, since the famine in the land was severe. When he was about to enter Egypt, he said to his wife Sarai, "I know that you are a beautiful woman. When the Egyptians see you, they will say, 'She is his wife,' and they will kill me, but let you live. Please say therefore that you are my sister, so that I may fare well on your account, and my life be spared for your sake." When Abram arrived in Egypt, the Egyptians saw that the woman was very beautiful. When Pharaoh's officials saw her, they praised her to Pharaoh, and the woman was taken into Pharaoh's house. Abram fared well on her account, and he acquired sheep, oxen, male and female servants, male and female donkeys, and camels. But the Lord struck Pharaoh and his household with severe plagues because of Sarai, Abram's wife. Then Pharaoh summoned Abram and said to him, "How could you do this to me? Why did you tell me she was your wife? Why did you say she is my sister, so that I took her for my wife? Now, here is your wife. Take her and leave." Then Pharaoh gave his men orders concerning Abram, and they sent him away with his wife and all that belonged to him. From Egypt, Abram went up to the Negeb with his wife and all that belonged to him, and Lot went with him. Now Abram was very rich in livestock, silver, and gold. From the Negeb he traveled by stages toward Bethel, to the place between Bethel and Ai, where his tent had formerly stood, the site where he had first built the altar. And there Abram invoked the Lord by name. Lot, who went with Abram, also had flocks and herds and tents, so that the land could not support them if they stayed together. Their possessions were so great that they could not live together. There were quarrels between the herders of Abram's livestock and the herders of Lot's livestock. At this time the Canaanites and the Perizzites were living in the land. So Abram said to Lot, "Let there be no strife between you and me, or between your herders and my herders, for we are kindred. Is not the whole land available? Please separate from me. If you prefer the left, I will go to the right. If you prefer the right, I will go to the left." Lot looked around and saw how abundantly watered the whole Jordan plain was as far as Zoar, the Lord's own garden, or like Egypt. This was before the Lord had destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. Lot therefore chose for himself the whole Jordan plain and set out eastward. Thus they separated from each other. Abram settled in the land of Canaan, while Lot settled among the cities of the plain, pitching his tents near Sodom. Now the inhabitants of Sodom were wicked and great sinners against the Lord. After Lot had parted from him, the Lord said to Abram, "Look about you and look where you are. Gaze to the north and south, east and west. All the land that you see, I will give to you and your descendants forever. I will make your descendants like the dust of the earth. If anyone could count the dust of the earth, your descendants too might be counted. Get up and walk around the land, across its length and breadth, for I give it to you." Abram moved his tents and went to settle near the oak of Mamre, which is at Hebron. There he built an altar to the Lord. Then Amraphel, king of Shinar, Arioch, king of Elasar, Chedorlaomer, king of Elam, and Tidal, the king of Goim, made war on Bera, king of Sodom. Birsha, king of Sodom, Shinab, king of Admah, Shemeber, king of Zeboim, and the king of Bela, that is Zoar. All the later kings joined forces in the valley of Siddim, that is the Salt Sea. For 12 years they had served Chedorlaomer, but in the 13th year they rebelled. In the 14th year, Chedorlaomer and the kings allied with him came and defeated the Rephaim in Ashtaroth, Karnaim, the Zuzim in Ham, the Emim in Shehav, Kiriathaim, and the Horites in the hill country of Zir, as far as El Paran, close to the wilderness. They then turned back and came to En Mispar, that is Kadesh, and they subdued the whole country of both the Amalekites and the Amorites who lived in Hazazon Tamar. Thereupon the kings of Sodom, the king of Gomorrah, and the king of Admah, the king of Zeboim, and the king of Bela, that is Zoar, marched out in the valley of Siddim. They went into battle against them, against Chedorlaomer, the king of Elam, Tidal, king of Goim, Araphael, king of Shinar, and Arioch, king of Elasar, 4 kings against 5. Now the valley of Siddim was full of bitumen pits, and the king of Sodom and the king of Gomorrah fled. As the king of Sodom and the king of Gomorrah fled, they fell into these, while the rest fled to the mountains. The victor seized all the possessions and food supplies of Sodom and Gomorrah, and then went their way. They took with them Abram's nephew Lot, who had been living in Sodom, as well as his possessions, and departed. A survivor came and brought the news to Abram the Hebrew, who was camping at the oak of Mamre, the Amorite, a kinsman of Eshcol and Aner. These were allies of Abram. When Abram heard that his kinsman had been captured, he mustered 318 of his retainers born in his house, and went in pursuit as far as Dan. He and his servants deployed against them at night, defeated them, and pursued them as far as Hobab, which is north of Damascus. He recovered all the possessions. He also recovered his kinsman Lot and his possessions, along with the women and the other people. When Abram returned from his defeat of Chedorlaomer and the kings who were allied with him, the king of Sodom went out to greet him in the valley of Shaveh, that is the king's valley. Melchizedek, king of Salem, brought out bread and wine. He was a priest of God Most High. He blessed Abram with these words: "Blessed be Abram by God Most High, the creator of heaven and earth. And blessed be God Most High, who delivered your foes into your hand. Then Abram gave him a tenth of everything. The king of Sodom said to Abram, "Give me the captives, the goods you may keep." But Abram replied to the king of Sodom, "I have sworn to the Lord, God Most High, the creator of heaven and earth, that I will not take so much as a thread or sandal strap from anything that is yours, so that you cannot say, 'I made Abram rich.' Nothing for me except what my servants have consumed, and the share is due to the men who went with me, Aner, Eshcol, and Mamre. Let them take their share."